Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill, or I supposed to say extra daily dose of skill. Today we are going to play with the Panzer 4S, and this is quite rare tank, honestly. I do not see people playing with this vehicle. It looks interesting as a tank. It has side skirts. It is relatively slow, even though the top speed of this vehicle is supposed to be 46 kilometers per hour, but mainly this tank is created for sniping from the back. Speaking about the gun, this vehicle has 135 alpha damage gun with 150 millimeters of penetration, and gold has 194 millimeters of penetration, and obviously way better shell velocity, which is very worth to keep in mind. And I know a lot of people are looking only into the penetration, but fellas, penetration is not everything. There is more important things, for example, shell velocity, and obviously if you have a low penetration and good shell velocity, it is not going to be absolutely amazing, but you get the point what I want to say. Meanwhile, while we are sitting in the bush, fellas, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, remember we have the Skillful 2 index site where you can find information about the tanks easily, what kind of equipment to use, what kind of field modifications to use, what are expectation values to get ace, what are the expectation values to find the to get the third mark of excellence. Keep this in mind, fellas. It is excellent tool for this, and soon, well, hopefully soon, we are going to add the medium crew skills. Since we kind of finished working on this already, all I need to do, I need to add my initial opinions and everything, so hopefully the things will go well, fellas. Fingers crossed. Anyways, what do we have? We have some enemies who are being aggressive. For example, this T-67 is trying to be aggressive, but I can tell you one thing, he is not going to enjoy this game. And at this point, as you can see, they have the T1 who is sitting in the middle, and at this point I think we are going to get involved in this battle. Now, this tank is kind of perfect sniper schnitzel from what I can remember. I know with this tank you can shoot very well, and the gun accuracy is solid banana out of 10, right? The gun accuracy is worth to be highlighted, fellas, because most of your shots, whenever you are shooting, you're supposed to hit. Now, what is not so good about this tank is the speed. Speed of this tank is very slow, and the armor of this tank, what armor, if you get the point what I'm saying. So yeah, unfortunately it has some weaknesses as well, and it is not ideal tank. In other words, if we would compare this vehicle against, let's say, T-34-85, I believe we don't even need to say which tank is better, right? Although, once again, if you are into the tank destroyer gameplay, this vehicle is not going to treat you badly, and if you like to snipe from the back, this tank can work just fine. Obviously, at this point we are going to show the dominance over the T-34-85, although keep this in mind, this tank has a very good armor. I am speaking about the enemy T-34-85, and it is a strong tank. Okay, good. T-34-85 just got destroyed, so at this point we can approach the K1. In fact, with this vehicle we are going to use a bit different equipment for a next game, and there is a reason why am I thinking about the next equipment or different equipment set up on this tank, right? Since this tank biggest problem, at least in my humble opinion, is the speed and acceleration, I have a feeling by using turbo, this tank can work so much better, and this is exactly what we are going to work for, and that's what we are going to try to do, right? Anyways, at this point we don't really need to save our hit points. We can be relatively aggressive, and we can show the dominance over the enemies, and in the end of the day we are finishing this battle with 3 kills and 1.4 thousand damage. Unfortunately, this is not ideal game for this tank, because once again, with this vehicle you don't want to be too aggressive in early game, because this tank main selling point is the gun accuracy, right? So you don't want to go in front against the T-34-85, and especially when T-34-85 is experienced player, he has 4 or 5 skills, yeah, then you will take one for the team. That's about it about this tank. And fellas, feel free to leave the comment down below. Have you ever seen this tank in the game? Or maybe you did not even notice it, because I played lower tiers quite a bit recently and I simply do not see panzers in the game. I simply don't see them. So, what do we have? We are first by experience, even though we played passively. We are second by the damage. Stug had a very nice farm, good for him. And we made 39,000 profits in those 4 minutes, which is very nice. So once again, looking into this tank, it looks very weird if you would ask me. And like I said before, instead of ventilation, how about if we would use the turbocharger? And are we going to feel a bit of the difference speaking about the how tank handles or not really? That's the main question. So without further ado, let's teleport into the round number 2. I could be a rapper, fellas. And we are back. So round number 2. What do we have, fellas? We have Karelia and we need to take enemy base. Now the question is, will we feel the difference how this tank is accelerating? This is the question, because now instead of ventilation we are using turbo, and honestly not really. I don't see the difference, do you? I don't feel like this tank suddenly became like a Ferrari, you know? I don't feel like this tank has an extra acceleration and we are losing a bit of the DPM, a bit of the gun accuracy and other stuff. So honestly, I don't really think a turbocharger is worth on this tank. I simply don't feel like it is worth it, fellas. Sometimes turbo is not fixing the tank that well, and sometimes turbo is not that epic as some of the people might think. Sometimes it is just simply if the tank has bad power to weight ratio, you are just simply not feeling the difference. And by the looks of it, this tank is one of those when you are just simply not feeling any change whatsoever, right, fellas? Okay, at this point I will try to punish this T50 who is sitting somewhere here in the back, right? This would be very nice thing to do. Our guys are marking where this T50 is, and you know what? In fact, I am going to risk it for the biscuit. At this point, I will try to cross through the middle of the field, because this could bring us a lot of use. We have a lot of view range, or our view range is absolutely amazing, and by playing aggressively like so, we should be able to spot enemies, and spotting we will. Look at this beauty, fellas. Okay, let's stop here for a second and let's try to punish this Su-100 M1. This gentleman is sitting in bad position for himself. Believe me, he is not going to enjoy this whatsoever, and all I need to do, I need to spot him making a mistake, and he will make a mistake, fellas. It is matter of the time, just making double sure we cannot see the T50. And let's see. No, Su-100 M1, make a mistake, buddy. Just make a mistake, man. That's all I need from you. Just make a mistake, buddy. Not very easy to find the proper angle. Speaking about angle, this guy is dead. I should be spotted because of the Su M1. And you know what? I am not spotted because of Su-100 M1. That's quite weird. Okay, let's try to get a bit closer. And I want to find a better angle for this gentleman sitting here, fellas. I have a feeling this will work just fine. I have a feeling he went just tiny touch deeper here, and if he did, we should be able to find a better angle just like so. So let's try to blind fire him just like this, and at this point we are waiting for him. Cheeto is shooting us, doesn't really matter, fellas. It doesn't really matter. At this point we are not spotted, and this is exactly what I want to see, and I would love to spot this Cheeto. Cheeto is getting spotted himself, and oh boy, how do you like this? How do you like this? Aha, it was fun to snipe me. It was fun to snipe me. Now at this point, watch this. We are going to spot the Su-100 M1. and he is sitting right there. Tracking shot just like this, and now we are going to flank him. At this point, this gentleman cannot do absolutely anything, fellas, and it's matter of the time whenever he is going to get slaughtered. We are enjoying this farm, and I know I said with this tank you're supposed to snipe a bit from the back, right? I am very well aware of this, and usually this would be the case, but at this point I was simply afraid if enemies are not going to make any silly goose mistakes. And indeed, looking into this performance, what enemies have done so far, honestly, we can't say they played that bad to make many mistakes towards us, right? Anyways, we need to escape from this before it's too late, because this VK 3002, he is very dangerous. Plus, on top of that, this guy, he is going with a full APCRs without any problems whatsoever, and obviously he is shredding us like hot knife through the butter. In fact, I think people in the comment section down below said, "Skill, you haven't played with VK," so we might play with this tank very soon. Anyways, what we are doing, we are trying to craft a bit different angle, and yet this tank is slow. You see, this is the situation when the speed of the tank doesn't really matter, and even though on the paper it's said no skill 40 something kilometers per hour, it doesn't mean kaku, fellas, if the tank doesn't have a great horsepower. And unfortunately for us, this tank doesn't have extremely horsepower, fellas, and this is very important thing to highlight. Okay, this is not victory yet. At this point I need to go for I would say I need to sit here. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Now, if we will do the things properly, we should be able to smack him at least once. Beautiful hit into the side of VK. But once again, this is not victory, and this guy should be able to ram this M10 without bigger problems. Luckily for us, he decided to go for a ram, and he got killed by doing so. So this is not necessarily bad. Tiger 2 is still alive. Well, actually, Tiger 1 is still alive. He have 4 kills. So what we are going to do for the Tiger 1, I would say we are going to have a relatively passive approach here. We are not going to go towards him like there is no tomorrow, but what we will do, we will try to snipe a bit from the back, which is super important thing. Buggy is on the reload, that's okay, and whenever he is finishing reloading, he is just peeking sideways. Whenever he is peeking sideways, we are trying to punish him for obvious reasons. Beautiful, now he's down to one shotable and he is dead. Excellent. And all we need to do at this point we need to figure out how to approach the Tiger 1. And Tiger 1 is sitting here in the back. In fact, we have an absolutely amazing angle for him, and Tiger 1 cannot win this game. It is impossible. There is some things which are impossible, and it is definitely impossible for him to win this game. So at least that's a good thing for us, right? We are going to sit in the base and we will simply wait until this gentleman will mess up, because he will. It is matter of the time. Plus on top of that, our Arta is aiming for him, so he shouldn't be very happy, and in fact he should be very dead. Unfortunately, we low roll at him, but pay attention at the gun accuracy of this tank. So whenever you are playing with this vehicle, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, do not use the turbo. Turbo is not really worth it. Turbo is not making that big of a difference. And it is just not that great for this vehicle, honestly. It is simply not that great for this tank, fellas. Beautiful. We captured the base. It was worth it, because I did not felt like I want to beat the living crap out of the Tiger, because it's dangerous. I am down to one shotable, and one mistake from my side and he is going to send me to the garage. So this is not what I want to do, fellas. Beautiful. Very nice performance. In this game, we did not snipe it from the back. We actually went super duper hyper turbo aggressively, and we beat the living crap out of the enemies, which is very nice thing. So We finished everything with 2.2 thousand damage and 600 assisting damage, which is nice. We are top by the damage. Ooh, Tiger farmed 4.2 thousand. Good job to this gentleman. He did absolutely everything properly. No wonder he's a great player, right? And we have 1.2 thousand base experience here. We are first by experience. By the way, looking into this, he almost got more experience than us on the losing team. So that's something. Anyways, 42,000 profits, which is very nice and always welcome. And you know what, fellas? I believe we want to test another equipment skill. What kind of equipment? I want to test out the grousers. I know it sounds very, very weird, but this equipment is also could be useful in the world of tanks, especially whenever you are having the tank with a bad terrain resistance. So let's try to use this equipment piece and let's see. Maybe it will feel just tiny touch faster. And now round number 3 with the grousers. Let's go. And we are back, fellas. Round number 3, we have Siegfried line. We are fighting against the tier 7, so we are in a way bottom tier, but it's not changing anything. I'm curious about acceleration of this tank. Are we going to accelerate a bit quicker than usual? Not really. Not really. I don't really think this tank is moving anyhow quicker. Okay, so quick highlight for this tank. If I can recommend something, I would highly recommend not to use turbo, and I would not recommend to use the grousers. It is the same clunky mother trucker, and this tank is truly clunky, fellas. It is just slow, and this is a problem of this vehicle, right? If I don't feel like I am accelerating so much quicker, I am just going to say that straight in the face, right? So yeah, that's about it. Ventilation is the way to go, because that's how you are boosting your gun handling, and this is how you are boosting your tank overall. Okay, how to play this game? I do not really want to go into the city like crazy macaca. I don't really think it is worth it, fellas. Instead of being super aggressive, what we are going to do, we are going to wait for a moment until we will figure out what enemies are going to do. Are they going to make pressure like this? Are they going to make pressure like this? Are they going to go on the field and they will try to make a bit of pressure? This is the question, and I am very, very curious what they are going to do, right? So for now, there is no need for us to be in front lines. Plus, on top of that, keep this in mind. Even though this tank is a medium tank on the paper, it doesn't really mean medium tank supposed to go in front and you supposed to lead the charge. Every single medium tank is different, and every single medium tank can do the things in the different way, right? This is important thing to say. Skill, meanwhile, you are going in front. Shit, I said. Let me play my game, okay? Okay, so what we are going to do, we will try to take this this side here. Maybe, I repeat, maybe we have a decent angle to punish the CS44. CS44 have alpha advantage, but we can smack him at least once. At least that's what I want to believe. Smacking him once, 130 in the face, that's nice, and now I'm not going to pick again. Why so? Because CS44 might have 300 alpha damage gun, and if he has 300 alpha damage gun, I will never ever win the fight against him. It is just simply no bueno. Meanwhile, we have enemy Super Chaffee, who is thinking about being super aggressive here. Super Chaffee being super aggressive. That sounds interesting, don't you think so? And indeed, he is playing relatively aggressive. I don't really think we are sitting that bad in this position to think about making more pressure. I don't really think it is worth it, and I don't really think it is necessary. That was quite pity one, because we could eliminate him from the game, and maybe if we would have ventilation, our gun would work just a bit better. This is also true, and we need to keep this in mind. We are losing this game by 1,400 hit points and by 2 guns. This is not very good and this is not really much appreciated, but this is as much as we can do for now. And once again, there is no need for us to make pressure like crazy mother truckers. It is completely unnecessary. Instead of making pressure, we are going to build nest a bit better for ourselves, so we are going to have way better angles overall, right? By saying we will have better angles, that means we can move back like so, and we can try to punish enemies whenever they are trying to get involved, right? That's what I mean by saying this. So let's see. Will enemy light tank be aggressive? Unfortunately not. Wow. Okay. What do we have? We have Cromwell B being aggressive. That's fine. I think at this point we can go and beat the living crap out of this gentleman. I think this is only one way how we can do the things. Luckily for us, our donut smacked him for 300, so that means we can win the DPM fight at this point, and we need to be involved. I'm not going to stop for a second, even though I supposed to. I need to go for him. I just simply need to go for him and I need to kill him. There is no other option. Oh yes, there is other option. We need to run for our life before it's too late. E25 is on the field already. We are losing the game 5-10. Yikes, fellas. Ay. Such a bad ending for this vehicle. But sometimes nothing what you can do about this. And I would love to say something different. I would love to say, but fellas, we can go in front and we can kill them all. All we need to do, we need to make a hardcore pressure now. It is not the case, fellas. Sometimes only one option for you is to simply take one for the team and pretend it never happened. And this is going to be the ending game for this vehicle. Quite sad to finish our great session like this. But fellas, nothing what we can do. This is very bad map for a sniper schnitzel overall, and I believe it's fair to say that. Neither we have an extremely good armor, neither we can play super aggressively into the city, right, which is important thing to say. So yeah, unfortunate for us. This E25 is not thinking of making pressure. This is quite sad thing. Can you make pressure? No, you cannot. Okay, then don't make pressure if you don't want to. Yeah, he's not going in front. Shame. Okay, how about trying to craft a nice angle for the CS44? Maybe we will be able to do so, or maybe not. This guy is dead. Beautiful. How about the CS44? I'm trying to make a different angle. Hopefully he will bounce, but he didn't. Yeah, that sucks, but this is the ending game for us. Shame. Anyways, first two games we are good. The third game, unfortunately, was quite bad, and to be fair with you, it doesn't really matter how we would do the things. Would we use ventilation, or would we use the turbo, or we would use hardening? Doesn't really matter. In every single way, the ending probably would be the same. So fellas, quite sad thing speaking about the last game, but this is as much as we are going to get. Katita, good morning. By the way, I am recording the video 1 in the morning, so Katita is quite active. Not a big surprise, right? Anyways, we are second by experience, we are fourth by the damage, and E25 did absolutely amazing stuff. He cleared the field, and he was like a king in matchmaking like this, so that's understandable. Speaking about the profits, we broke even, which is completely fine considering how many gold we are using on this tank. And once again, fellas, keep this in mind. Ventilation is the way to go. Don't go with a turbo, and don't go with grousers. They are just simply not worth it. In the end of the day, we managed to get 1,500 damage and 200 assisting damage, and once again, keep this in mind. If not this last game, the performance would be so much better and everything would work overall better. But it is how it is. Beggars cannot be choosers, and we need to accept what we have. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. And by the way, fellas, this vehicle is rated in the playable tier, speaking about index, and I would not do any changes whatsoever for this tank. It is just simply way too slow for my liking and for my taste. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.